Hello, in this video lecture, I discuss a very important topic, that is solubility. Now, solubility is not a very new topic. However, due to advancement in the field of chemistry, or in a broad sense, due to the advancement in the field of science and technology, the concept of solubility is advanced and updated with discovery of various processes which are essentially be used to make or to get the better outcome of solubility of a given substance. So as I said, that solubility is not a very new concept or a very new term, and each one of us in our day-to-day life will encounter this particular event, that is solubility, in one or other manner. And hence, we all have likewise one or other definition of solubility as per our knowledge. So now it is very essential here to know what ultimately the meaning, or how scientifically or technically we can define solubility. So solubility can be defined technically as ability of a solute to get dissolved in a solvent. So this is a very primary definition of a solubility, and this particular definition supports the qualitative aspect of solubility, because this definition do not anyhow specify the net worth quantity of solvent required to dissolve a given amount of solute. So in a qualitative way, or in a qualitative manner, we can define solubility just by specifying the dissolution of solute in a solvent. However, on other hand, solubility can also be technically defined quantitatively. Now, in quantitative definition or in a quantitative aspect, a solubility can be defined as the ability of a given amount of solute to get dissolved in a given amount of solvent under the standard conditions. So this is technically a quantitative definition of solubility. And why I am saying that this particular definition states or represents the quantitative solubility, because it defines the requirement or the required amount of solvent in order to dissolve a specific quantity of solute. So we anyhow came to know that solubility can be defined both qualitatively as well as quantitatively. So whenever a solute get dissolves in a solvent, we get what it is known as solution. So we can say that solution is a bicomponent or bicomponental mixture. And why a solution is said to be a bicomponental mixture? This is due to the presence of two components which are anyhow essential in order to have solution. And these two components are solute and the solvent. If anyone gets lack, a solution cannot be produced anyhow. So this is the reason why a solution is said to be a bicomponental mixture. So each and every solution which is produced by dissolving a solute with the solvent or by mixing the solute with the solvent have certain ratio or have a certain quantity of solute in a solvent, and depending what ultimately the quantity of solute gets dissolved in the solution, or what is the net quantity of solute that passes into the solvent and so produced a solution. So each and every solution have a definite strength, and there are various units which ultimately represents the net strength of a solution. For an example, a strength of solution can be expressed in percentage, or by percentage weight by volume, or percentage volume by volume, or by normalities, then by molarities, formalities. So there are various units are there which ultimately express the strength of a solution. However, I here restrict my discussion only towards the solubility. So there is no fixed ratio in which the components are present in a solution. However, technically or universally, a solute is always present in a small quantity compared to the solvent in order to have a better solubility of that particular solute in the solvent. So a solute is frequently a substance that dissolves, and solvent is a matrix in which the dissolution takes place. So normally a solute prominently is in solid form, or physically the nature of solute is solid. However, a solute can simultaneously also be liquid as well as gas. And likewise, solvent generally or mostly is a liquid. However, a solvent can also be a gas and solid. For example, if I say salt present in water or sugar present in water, in here or in this case, the salt is a solute and the water is a solvent, and the physical nature of salt here is a solid and water is liquid, which is mostly. Now if I say carbon dioxide in water, so here the carbon dioxide present in water means, or carbon dioxide dissolves in water means, the carbon dioxide is a gas and water is a liquid. So here in this particular example, the carbon dioxide act as a solute, which is a gas, is dissolves in a water which act as a solvent, and its physical form is liquid. Likewise, if I say copper in gold, so here the copper and gold both are the metals. However, when I discuss its physical form, both are exist as solid. However, here in this case, the copper is act as a solute and the gold is act as a solvent. So generally a solute, or the physical nature of solute and solvent, can be solid, it can be liquid, and it can also be gas, depending what type of solute gets dissolved in what particular type of solvent.